I'm gonna tell y'all right now, if never ending winter ever became a thing, I would not be long for this world. I know it isn't very metal, but I like sunshine and bright colors and cute little animals, and most importantly, being able to dress like a total Welcome to Daily Metal, where every day a different metal album gets dissected for your sadistic listening pleasure. I'm the heavy metal lawyer, Emma, and in this show, I'll talk about why the music in these albums is so good and where they fall in the history of music's most wretched genre. On July 15th, 2017, Biscon Biskonechnia Sima, or in English, Never Ending Winter, and I'm sorry if I butchered that, put out their album Heeus, which is apparently the name for a particularly strong kind of wind in Russia during the winter, because Russian winters were apparently not bad enough as it was. Blackened crust punk of the highest caliber right here. The first real track on the album, by Snow Ridges, starts out as pretty typical fast-paced black metal with lots of tremolo guitar and throat-scratching vocals, but then you get to the breakdown and the crust influence appears, especially the sort of neo-crust like Nux Vomica or Downfall of Gaia. The distortion disappears, and in the vacuum is a quiet but consistent, clean melody from the guitar and bass, almost sea shanty-esque in tone. And then layered over that, a sitar appears to add some coloring. The same formula comes back in the following track, Never Ending Winter, except replacing the sitar coloring with a flute. These kind of breakdowns are not only refreshingly different from a lot of black metal, they show the band has a great sense of dynamics. Dynamics are, in short, how loud or quiet music is, and like color against a black background or black against a brightly colored background, contrasting super loud, distorted, noisy black metal with soft, contemplative, neo-folk breakdowns makes both the black metal sound more heavy and the neo-folk sound more beautiful. A lot of metal bands get this same effect by using silence or relatively silent parts in their music, like the cavernous emptiness and creepy whispering and baby crying in the middle of the clinging to the trees of a forest fire song, Remove the Light. And don't get me wrong, that album is one of my favorite albums of all time, period. But using silence is kind of taking the easy way out to create a dynamic contrast. It is more impressive from a songwriting perspective to be able to construct a musical interlude that fits melodically and rhythmically with the rest of the song, which is why I've been a bit obsessed with this album, because it is some of the most well-written metal that I've listened to in a long time. Even the squeak of a sliding finger on a guitar string in the title track, Heeus, seems to fit into the song structure, which is probably the most crust punk track on the album. While the tracks on the album are long, with Sib Ear in particular clocking in at over 9 minutes, the impeccable flow created by the solid songwriting and the relatively short length of the album overall at 27 minutes in total leaves you wanting more, much more, rather than wondering when it will end. There are 2 album covers I've seen for the album, both featuring an old man in snow-covered coniferous forest. I think both are great at evoking a sense of isolation and smallness of man compared to nature, but I personally prefer the one where the man is standing before 2 open caskets near a church. The image is very striking, the isolation seems more painful, and the power of nature more merciless, with the tall trees towering over the church, the gravestones, and the man. In a way, it kind of reminds me of the album cover for Leviathan's The 10th Sublevel of Suicide, in terms of evoking those feelings of isolation and powerlessness. And while Heeus doesn't fit the typical mold of depressive black metal in sound, it definitely is there in terms of mood. From the title track, you have lyrics like, "My Lord is my indifferentism, my credo is my imprudence." I think the band is still active. I really hope they are, because I would like a lot more of this self-described Siberian metal punk in my life. So, does the idea of a never-ending winter scare you as much as it scares me? Let me know in the comments, and if you like this video, please subscribe so you can find out what the metal album of the day is, why it is so brutal, and where it fits in the history of the genre.